Are you eating clean, drinking water, trying to live healthy, but still feeling off? Low energy, brain fog, inflammation that doesn't fully go away. What if part of the problem isn't just what you're eating, but something you can't see at all? Here's a surprising reality. Tiny plastic particles, known as microplastics, are now being found in the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food you eat, and more recently, even inside the human body. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Microplastics are extremely small fragments of plastic that can enter through ingestion or inhalation. Once inside, they don't function like nutrients. They act more like foreign particles, and that matters because your body has to decide, do I ignore this or do I respond to it? Emerging research suggests that these particles may trigger low-grade inflammation, interact with the gut lining, disrupt metabolic signaling, and potentially interfere with cellular function. Now, it's important to stay grounded here. This is an evolving area of science. We are still learning. But one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Your body's detoxification systems, especially the liver, gut, and immune system, play a critical role in how you handle these exposures. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your body like a highly advanced filtration system. Every day, it processes nutrients, toxins, waste products. Now imagine adding microscopic debris into that system. Not enough to immediately break it, but enough to increase the workload over time. That's where the real impact happens. Not necessarily in one moment, but through chronic exposure. And this brings us to the most important question. Can you actually detox microplastics? The answer is not what most people expect. It's not about extreme cleanses or quick fixes. It's about supporting your body's natural ability to process, eliminate, and protect itself. This approach is consistent with the work of Dr. William Li, focusing on strengthening biological systems rather than chasing symptoms. In this video, we're going to break down what microplastics actually do inside your body, how your detox systems respond, and most importantly, practical science-informed strategies to reduce burden and support elimination. If this is helpful so far, consider subscribing. I post content like this every day to help you understand your body and take control of your health using real science. Now let's start by breaking down the key mechanisms and what actually matters when it comes to detoxification. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Microplastics don't just sit in your environment. They enter your body through two main pathways: ingestion, through food and water, inhalation, through air and dust. Once inside, their behavior depends largely on size and structure. Larger particles may pass through your digestive system, but smaller particles, especially what scientists call nanoplastics, may interact more closely with your biology. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your digestive system like a security checkpoint. Most substances pass through without issue, but some particles are small enough to interact with the barrier itself. That barrier is your gut lining, and this is where things become important. Your gut lining is designed to absorb nutrients, block harmful substances, communicate with your immune system, but when foreign particles repeatedly come into contact with it, it can influence how that barrier functions. What the research suggests is that microplastics may interact with gut cells, influence permeability, sometimes called leaky gut, trigger mild immune responses. Now, this doesn't mean your body is helpless. In fact, your body is constantly managing exposure. But the issue is not one-time contact. It's repeated exposure over time. Let's make this practical. Where are these exposures coming from? Common sources include plastic food packaging, bottled water, processed foods, heating food in plastic containers, household dust. Now here's the key insight. Before you even think about detox, you have to reduce input. Because trying to detox while continuing high exposure is like trying to empty a sink while the tap is still running. So what can you do immediately? Simple steps. First, reduce plastic contact with food. Avoid heating food in plastic. Use glass or stainless steel when possible. Second, be mindful of water sources. Filtered water can reduce certain contaminants. Third, limit ultra-processed foods. These often have higher exposure from packaging and processing. Fourth, improve air quality when possible. Ventilation. Reducing indoor dust. Now here's the key takeaway. Microplastics are not just about what enters your body. They're about how often they enter. And reducing exposure is the first and most powerful step in protecting your health. Because detox is not just about removal. It's about reducing the burden in the first place. If this is making sense so far, consider subscribing, because in the next section, we're going to look at how your body actually responds to these particles, and why inflammation becomes a key part of the story. Now that we understand how microplastics enter the body, Let's look at what happens next. Because your body doesn't just ignore foreign particles, it responds. Here's what's really going on inside your body. When something unfamiliar enters, whether it's a toxin, pathogen, or particle, your immune system evaluates it. And one of the first responses is inflammation. Now, inflammation is not the enemy. It's actually a protective mechanism. It helps your body isolate potential threats, signal repair systems, activate immune defenses. But the problem begins when this response becomes chronic and low-grade. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of inflammation like a security alarm. When something triggers it, the alarm goes off. That's helpful in the short term. But if the alarm keeps going off repeatedly, even at a low level, it starts to wear down the system. That's what chronic inflammation does. Now here's where microplastics come in. Emerging research suggests that repeated exposure to microplastics may trigger mild inflammatory responses, increase oxidative stress, disrupt cellular balance. Now let's pause and keep this grounded. This is still an evolving field. We are not talking about extreme or immediate damage. We're talking about cumulative stress over time. And this is where most people misunderstand the issue. It's not about one exposure. It's about repeated signals to the body. Now, what is oxidative stress? It's essentially an imbalance between free radicals, reactive molecules, and your body's antioxidant defenses. When free radicals increase, they can damage cells, affect mitochondria, your energy centers, contribute to inflammation. Now, here's the key connection. Inflammation and oxidative stress often work together. One feeds the other. And over time, this can affect energy levels, metabolic efficiency, cellular repair. So what can you do? Instead of trying to remove microplastics directly, you support your body's ability to handle the stress they create. Let's make this practical. First, increase antioxidant intake. These compounds help neutralize oxidative stress. Focus on berries, leafy greens, green tea, colorful vegetables. Second, support anti-inflammatory pathways. This includes omega-3 fats, fish, flaxseed, spices like turmeric and ginger. Third, reduce inflammatory triggers, because microplastics are not the only source. Also reduce sugar, ultra-processed foods, poor sleep. Fourth, prioritize recovery. Sleep plays a major role in regulating inflammation. Now here's the key takeaway. You don't fight microplastics directly. You strengthen your body's resilience, because a resilient system can handle exposure, recover efficiently, maintain balance. And this is the real strategy. In the next section, we're going to go deeper into the liver and how your body actually processes and eliminates foreign substances over time. Now let's move into one of the most important parts of this entire discussion, your liver. Because when people hear the word detox, they often think of quick cleanses or special products. But here's what's really going on inside your body. Detox is not something you do occasionally. It's something your body is doing every single day, primarily through your liver. Your liver is responsible for processing toxins, breaking down harmful compounds, converting them into forms that can be eliminated. This happens through what scientists call phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification pathways. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your liver like a two-step processing plant. Step 1, it takes incoming substances, including toxins, and modifies them. Step 2, it packages those substances so they can be safely removed from the body. Now here's the key point most people miss. Both steps require nutrients and balance. If phase 1 is working fast, but phase 2 is slow, you can actually create more stress inside the system. So detox is not about speeding things up. It's about supporting both phases properly. Now, where do microplastics fit into this? Current research suggests that the body may not break down plastic particles in the same way it processes chemicals, but the liver still plays a role in managing associated toxins, handling oxidative stress, supporting elimination pathways. And this is where your daily habits become critical. Let's make this practical. If you want to support your liver effectively, here's what matters. First, adequate protein intake. Protein provides amino acids that are essential for phase 2 detoxification. Examples: eggs, fish, lentils. Second, cruciferous vegetables. These support detox enzymes. Include broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. Third, hydration, because processed toxins need to be transported out of the body. Fourth, avoid overload. Reduce alcohol, ultra-processed foods, excess sugar, because these increase the burden on your liver. Now, here's something important to understand. Your liver is not failing. It's adapting to workload. And when the workload becomes too high, efficiency decreases. So instead of forcing detox, you reduce the load and support the system. If this is helping you understand detox at a deeper level, consider subscribing. I post content like this daily to help you fix the root cause, not just the symptoms. Here's the key takeaway. You don't clean your liver, you support its function. And when your liver works efficiently, your body becomes better at handling environmental exposures, including microplastics. In the next section, we're going to look at one of the most powerful and overlooked tools for elimination, your gut and fiber. Now let's move to something that is often overlooked, but absolutely essential if you want to remove anything from your body, your gut. Because no matter what your liver processes, if your gut isn't working properly, those substances may not leave your body efficiently. Here's what's really going on inside your body. After your liver processes toxins, many of them are sent into the digestive system through bile. From there, they are supposed to be bound, transported, and eliminated through stool. But this process depends heavily on one key factor, fiber. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of fiber like a sponge or a brush. As it moves through your digestive system, it binds to waste products, helps carry them out, prevents reabsorption. Now here's the critical point. If you don't consume enough fiber, that waste can sit longer in your system. And in some cases, certain compounds may be reabsorbed, which means your body has to process them again. Now, when it comes to microplastics, we don't have evidence that fiber directly removes plastic particles in a targeted way. But what the research strongly supports is this. Fiber improves overall elimination efficiency, and that matters because a well-functioning gut reduces the total burden on your system. Now let's go deeper. Fiber also plays a major role in feeding beneficial gut bacteria, producing short-chain fatty acids, supporting gut lining integrity. And remember from earlier, your gut lining is one of the first points of interaction with foreign particles. So when your gut is healthy, you're not just eliminating better, you're also protecting your internal barrier. Now let's make this practical. If you want to use fiber effectively, here's how. First, increase whole plant foods. Focus on vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains. Second, aim for consistency, not extremes. Suddenly adding too much fiber can cause discomfort. Increase gradually. Third, diversity matters. Different fibers feed different bacteria. Variety improves gut health. Fourth, hydrate properly. Fiber works best when combined with adequate water. Fifth, include both soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber helps bind substances. Insoluble fiber improves movement through the gut. Now here's the key takeaway. Your gut is not just about digestion, it's a major elimination pathway. And if that pathway is not functioning well, detoxification becomes inefficient, no matter what else you do. So before looking for advanced solutions, start with the basics, because a well-functioning gut can dramatically improve how your body handles internal and external stressors. In the next section, we're going to explore something even deeper, how fasting and metabolic processes activate your body's internal cleanup systems at the cellular level. Now let's go one level deeper, because everything we've discussed so far, the liver, the gut, inflammation, operates at a system level. But your body also has a cellular level cleanup system. And this is where things get really powerful. Here's what's really going on inside your body. When you're constantly eating, especially frequent meals and snacks, your body stays in a state of digestion, absorption, storage. But when you create periods without food, your body shifts into a different mode, a mode focused on repair, recycling, cleanup. This process is known as autophagy. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your cells like a busy workspace. Over time, broken parts, waste materials, and debris begin to accumulate. Autophagy is like a cleanup crew that comes in, removes damaged components, and recycles usable parts. Now here's the key point. This process is naturally activated when insulin levels drop, energy intake decreases, the body senses a need to optimize resources, and one of the most effective ways to trigger this is through structured fasting windows. Now let's connect this to microplastics. We don't have evidence that autophagy directly removes plastic particles, but what it does do is improve cellular efficiency, reduce internal stress, enhance your body's ability to manage damage. And that's critical, because detox is not just about removal. It's about repair and resilience. Now let's make this practical. You don't need extreme fasting. A simple structure works very well. Start with a 12-14 hour overnight fast. For example, finish eating at 8 p.m. Eat again at 10 a.m. During the fasting window, you can have water, green tea, black coffee. Avoid sugary drinks, calorie-containing beverages, because they interrupt the fasting state. Now here's something important. Fasting is not about restriction. It's about creating space for your body to function properly. When you give your body that space, insulin levels drop, fat burning increases, cellular cleanup processes activate, and over time, this supports better metabolic health and recovery. If this is helping you see how your body works at a deeper level, consider subscribing. I post content like this every day to help you build real, lasting health from the inside out. Here's the key takeaway. You don't need to force detox. Your body already has built-in systems for cleanup. You just need to activate them. In the next section, we're going to bring everything together with the most practical and immediate step you can take: reducing daily exposure. Now let's bring everything into a real-world context. Because after all the science, all the mechanisms, all the strategies, there's one principle that matters more than anything else. You cannot out-detox constant exposure. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Every day, your body is balancing two forces. What's coming in? What's being processed and eliminated? If the input is too high, even the best detox systems become overwhelmed. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your body like a sink. Your liver, gut, and cellular systems are the drain. Microplastics and toxins are the water coming in. If the tap is running fast, even a perfectly working drain will struggle. So before you try to improve the drain, you have to turn down the tap. This is where most people get it wrong. They focus only on adding things, supplements, detox drinks, cleanses, but they ignore the source of exposure. And that keeps the cycle going. Now here's the empowering part. You don't need perfection. You need awareness and reduction. Let's make this practical. Here are the highest impact changes you can make. First, stop heating food in plastic. Heat increases the release of microplastic particles and chemicals. Use glass containers, stainless steel. Second, reduce bottled water consumption. Plastic bottles can shed particles, especially when exposed to heat. Switch to filtered tap water, glass or steel bottles. Third, limit ultra-processed foods. These often involve plastic packaging, industrial processing, which increases exposure risk. Fourth, improve your food storage habits. Avoid long-term storage in plastic when possible. Fifth, be mindful of kitchen tools. Scratch plastic utensils and containers release more particles. Sixth, address indoor exposure. Microplastics can accumulate in dust. Simple actions: regular cleaning, ventilation. Now here's something important. You don't need to eliminate plastic completely. That's unrealistic. But small, consistent reductions add up significantly over time. Now let's connect everything we've discussed. You reduce exposure, you support your liver, you improve gut elimination, you activate cellular cleanup, and together, you create a system that can handle modern environmental stress more effectively. Here's the key takeaway. Detox is not about extreme actions. It's about reducing input and supporting function. And when you do both, your body begins to rebalance itself naturally. In the final section, we'll bring everything together into a clear action plan, so you can start applying this immediately. Now let's go one level deeper, because your gut is not just a tube for digestion. It's an entire ecosystem. Trillions of bacteria, known as the gut microbiome, are constantly interacting with everything that enters your body. Here's what's really going on inside your body. When microplastics enter your digestive system, they don't just interact with your gut lining. They also come into contact with your microbiome. And this matters because your gut bacteria help regulate inflammation, immune response, nutrient absorption, barrier protection. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your microbiome like a protective forest. A healthy forest resists damage. But if that ecosystem becomes weak or imbalanced, it becomes more vulnerable to disruption. Emerging research suggests that environmental exposures, including microplastics, may influence microbial balance. Now again, we stay grounded. This is still being studied. But what we do know with strong evidence is this. A healthy microbiome improves your body's resilience to stress. So what can you do? Focus on feeding beneficial bacteria. Fiber-rich foods, vegetables, legumes, fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, pickles, diverse plant intake. Reduce things that disrupt balance. Excess sugar, ultra-processed foods, poor sleep. Here's the key takeaway. You may not control every exposure, but you can control how strong your internal ecosystem is. Now let's talk about something simple, but often underestimated: movement. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your body eliminates waste through multiple pathways: liver, gut, kidneys, skin, yes, your skin. Through sweat, your body can eliminate certain compounds and support circulation. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your body like a city. Waste doesn't leave through just one exit. It uses multiple routes. Movement helps open those routes. Now here's where this becomes powerful. Exercise supports detoxification indirectly by increasing blood flow, supporting lymphatic movement, improving metabolic function, enhancing insulin sensitivity. And when your circulation improves, your body becomes more efficient at transporting waste, supporting elimination. Now, this is not about extreme workouts. Simple actions work. Walking daily, light resistance training, sweating a few times per week, even 20-30 minutes of movement can make a difference. Here's the key takeaway. Detox is not passive. Your body is designed to move, and movement supports every system we've discussed. Now let's address something many people overlook: water. Because we often think drinking more water automatically improves health. But here's the key question: what kind of water are you drinking? Here's what's really going on inside your body. Water is one of the primary ways substances enter your system daily, and studies have found microplastic particles in bottled water, tap water, even filtered sources, depending on quality. Now again, this is not about fear. It's about awareness. Let me explain this simply. If you're increasing water intake for health, but the quality is poor, you may also be increasing exposure. So what can you do? Focus on improving quality, not just quantity. Practical steps. Use a reliable water filter. Avoid storing water in plastic bottles long term. Don't expose plastic bottles to heat. Prefer glass or stainless steel containers. Now here's the key insight. Water supports detox, but only when it reduces, not increases, your total burden. Now let's clear up one of the biggest misconceptions: the idea that you can flush out toxins in a few days. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Detoxification is not a short-term event. It's a continuous biological process, but many products promise rapid detox, instant cleansing, quick fixes, and this creates a false expectation. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine trying to clean a house, but ignoring the fact that dirt is still coming in every day. A one-time cleaning doesn't solve the problem. You need ongoing maintenance, reduced input, consistent habits. The same applies to your body. Now here's the problem with extreme detox approaches. They often ignore nutrition, they may stress the body, they don't address root causes, and most importantly, they don't change daily exposure. Here's the key takeaway. Real detox is not dramatic. It's consistent, structured, and sustainable. It's built on reducing exposure, supporting liver function, improving gut health, allowing recovery, and when you do that, your body does the rest. Now let's bring everything together. Because what you've learned in this video is not about chasing a trend. It's about understanding how your body actually works and how to support it in a world where exposure is unavoidable. Here's the big picture. Microplastics are part of our modern environment. You cannot completely eliminate them, but you can influence how your body responds to them, and that changes everything. Let's recap the core insights. Microplastics enter through food, water, and air, but exposure is cumulative, not just a one-time event. Your body responds through inflammation and oxidative stress, which, over time, can affect energy, metabolism, and recovery. Your liver acts as a central detox system, not by removing plastic, but by managing the overall toxic load. Your gut plays a critical role in elimination, and fiber helps ensure that processed waste actually leaves your body. Your cells have built-in cleanup systems, like autophagy, that activate when you give your body time and space. And most importantly, reducing daily exposure is the foundation of any effective strategy. Now here's the most important takeaway. You don't need extreme detox protocols. You need consistent support of natural systems, because your body is not broken. It's adaptive. It's responding to the environment you create. So instead of trying to fix everything at once, start simple. Here's your challenge. Choose one action from this video. Switch one plastic habit to glass. Add one fiber-rich meal daily. Create a 12-hour fasting window. Drink more filtered water, just one, and commit to it for the next 7 days. Then observe your energy, your digestion, your focus, your overall sense of clarity. Because when you reduce burden and support function, your body begins to recalibrate, not instantly, but steadily. And that's where real sustainable health comes from. If this added value to your day, like the video and subscribe, because this channel is dedicated to helping you understand your body deeply, so you can take control of your health, naturally, intelligently, and without unnecessary complexity. Start small, stay consistent, and trust your biology to do what it was designed to do.